a nigga hit the lottery, so when you going up, how can you plummet? Damn, you stun it. On the land, when you expand the grands, they understand who run it. In the jam, you brung it. Coming from all the fans, the Kansas City man do.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Bossy. So today I'm going to be doing a Bob story time. We hit 50,000 subscribers. I love each and every one of y'all. Y'all have helped me reach this goal. It's a goal to me. I am now at 50,000 subscribers, and it's all thanks to you guys and showing me so much love. So I promised y'all that once I hit that, I would do a Bob story time. So I'm gonna do one. Now, you know, all those stories consist of cheating, some type of foolishness. So yeah, and I'm just gonna go ahead and give it to you. So this story happened probably a few months after I moved into my apartment. And y'all, for those of y'all that are new, I haven't been with Bob in over 11 years. So this is 11 years old worth of stuff. And don't be mad. I mean, you can be mad in the moment, but I'm past it. I'm over it. I'm just sharing these stories with y'all and giving y'all some entertainment. It doesn't bother me. People call me stupid, crazy. But again, this was my past. I've learned from that. So if you're upset by listening to this story, then you might as well click off now, because there's going to be stupidity. There's going to be stuff in the story that makes you angry and upset. So yeah. So I don't know, it was just a random night. He had finally came home. Typically he would go to his grandmother's house. He always said he left me in the house with my children. At the time, I had my two kids, my oldest two daughters, and you know, he would leave me in the house a whole lot of the times. I'd be in the house bored, stuck, you know, just having my cell phone, and cell phones didn't do that a whole lot back then. You might have had Facebook, but I don't even know then. But yeah, I would be stuck in the house, nothing to do. I didn't really talk to the people in the neighborhood I lived in because they was kind of rats. Yeah, I know I'm a little rough around the edges, but they was like super rough. So I didn't like socialize with the people in my area. So, you know, I'd be bored a lot of the time, stuck at home with my babies. You know, hey, I chose the dude and I knew what it was. But again, you know, it's the past, it's old. So one night he comes home, and the first thing he does when he comes in the house is run to the restroom. And he's just so, he's done this so many times, but he is so irritating. He ran to the restroom. I'm just up in the living room watching TV. The apartment's not that big. We have 2 bedrooms, the living room, and then our kitchen in the restroom, and that's it. And they're so close together. And so I kind of turn the volume down and I'm listening, and I hear water running for a little minute, and he finally comes out and goes in the room and shut the door. So I gave myself a little time to wait and sit there and watch the TV. And then I crept into the bathroom, and I saw he couldn't even take the towel with him, that he had a wash rag on the sink still that I'm sure he used to clean his private area. So, like, you could have just did that at the chick's house or wherever y'all did whatever y'all did at. So you know, I go in the room and I asked him where he had been. And of course he says at his grandmother's house with his cousins and his homeboys or whatever. The same thing all the time. But little did he know that one of his cousins I was really close with. We're no longer close at all now. But he was a guy. And I don't know if he intentionally tried to tell me stuff or if he felt bad for me. But he would blow up his cousin's spot all the time. So, like, he would call me sometimes just to see how I was doing, you know, just to see what the kids was doing. He was younger than both of us, but he was still a cool, you know, he was cool. And I'm sure he still took her for his cousin, but at sometimes he would tell me things. So he called, like, you know, where's Bob at? Make sure when he gets home you tell him to call. And I'm thinking, this fool said he was coming down there with y'all. And he'd be like, oh, well, he ain't made it here yet. All right, well, okay. Little stuff like that. It happened a lot. So anyway, he kept saying he was at his grandma's house. So I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. He falls asleep. And normally, y'all, when he falls asleep, he always has his phone under his pillow, or he'll try to hide his phone somewhere. He won't just have it plugged up next to the bed. He literally hides his phone. After he went to sleep, you know, I'm just sitting up because with him, he gave me anxiety. He stressed me out. I never could sleep. I was always wondering what chick it was this time, what chick it's gonna be next time. And instead of me leaving, I just worried about what he was doing. I don't know if he had been drinking wherever he was at, and he hit his phone, but he didn't turn his volume down all the way as far as when he got notifications or someone was calling him. So his ringer was turned down, but it wasn't turned down to silent, so you could hear it. So I start hearing this noise. Mind you, we're in the bed. The kids is in their room. We're in the bed. The lights is off. The TV's on. But of course, I'll turn it down or whatever. Because sometimes I would just sit in the bed and just think about my life. And all of a sudden, I hear his ringtone. Well, a ringtone. Because it's not the one for when I call him. And when I called him, it was just a basic ringtone. But it was a ringtone, but it was a different ringtone that I had never heard from his phone before. So I'm listening to this ringtone, and it's kind of far away, but I can still hear it really good, it seemed like. So I'm like, I kind of lean next to him to see if it's like the noise is coming from his pillow. But the noise is coming from the opposite side. So my bed was in the middle of my room. It wasn't like pushed up against a wall. Well, the sides weren't pushed up against the wall. So I finally like lean over on my side of the bed, and I look, and down in the middle of the bed on the floor, underneath the bed I should say, there's his phone. So he hid it underneath the bed. Yeah, my bed wasn't super duper high, but I mean, I don't know what he was thinking, but the phone was there. So I hurried up before the phone stopped ringing, and I grabbed it and I answered it, because by this time it's probably, because it was late, so it had to be at least 2 something in the morning, if that. And I hurry up and grab the phone, and I open the door, and I run in the restroom, and I lock the door. And I answer the phone, and I'm like, hello? And I'm not talking real loud. Mind you, I shut my bedroom door, and the TV was still on, and he was asleep. So I'm like, hello? And the other person on the phone is like, hello? And I'm like, yes. And I remember her saying, can I speak to Bob? I keep almost saying the man's real name. Can I speak to Bob? I was like, who's calling? Bob is asleep in the bed right now. What is it that you need? What is it that you want from him? What is it? And she kept saying, you need to give my man the phone right now. I need to speak to my baby's father. And I'm just sitting there, my blood is boiling already that fast. And like I got a lump in my throat. I'm getting hot all over, because I'm just like, another one. Here we go with this bull crap. Here we go. Like another chick, another chick, another chick. And this is before I found out about his other daughter. But I'm just like, another chick, another chick. Like what? So I'm like, no, he's not your man. He's my boyfriend, you know. And I remember this exactly. I was like, we've been going together for, and I said those words because what she said pissed me off. But I was like, yeah, we've been going together since we was in high school, so I don't know what you talking about. You ain't his woman, you ain't his woman, this and that. She was like, that's cute, y'all go together. She was like, I'm a grown woman, what you mean go together? She was like, don't nobody use that language. She was like, that's that little kid stuff. You girl, he ain't dealing with you, he need a grown woman like me. And then she was, what she say, she was 20 something, she was older. And I'm like, well, like I said, he's sleeping in our bed, and like, I'm so upset, y'all. I'm like, he's sleeping in our bed. Please quit calling his phone. You need to quit disrespecting my house. Don't call his phone because he lives here with me. You know that little stupid stuff girls say. He lives here with me. She was like, well, your man that lives with you, he left something over at my house that he just left from a little while ago. And I was like, well, too bad, you can keep it. Oh, well, he ain't coming back to get it. And I hung up in her face. Right when I was about to hurry up and go put the phone back, because at this point I'm feeling like crying. I'm upset because I'm like, why does he keep doing this stupid stuff? So right before I get to go, because I sat on the toilet for a second and I'm just like, oh. So I'm about to get ready to go back out. She calls again. She was like, I need to speak to my man. I'm like, why do you keep calling him that? She proceeds to say, I'm pregnant. We having a little boy. I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. I said, you pregnant? I said, oh, how far along are you? She was like, we gonna go to the doctor soon to find out, but I'm pregnant. She's like, I'm gonna have his first son. It's gonna be Bob Jr. Bob Jr. She was like, he don't want nothing with you. I seen you, you fat, ugly looking little light-skinned, busted asshole. Just saying little stupid stuff, going in on me. And it's crazy because all of these chicks saw me or knew of me, but didn't give a hot about it. Not every last one of them. Some of them didn't know about me because it was a lot of chicks. But for majority of them knew about me and his children and still didn't care. What's on my head? She's like, from what I heard, he don't even claim you. He don't even claim you. And I'm just like, oh my God. Okay, well, if he don't claim me, how come his whole family knows me? How come he stays here with me? Stupid stuff. It's stupid. But this is what I was saying. How come he stays with me? How come he and she was like, just because you stupid, you stupid, you stupid. And I'm like, you stupid too, because if that's the case, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. We was just basically going back and forth, and eventually I just hung up the phone and I deleted her calls, and I hurried up and I put the phone back on the charger up under the bed. And when I tell y'all, when I say I couldn't sleep, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't sleep. So the next morning, this fool wakes up and I'm like, so you wasn't lying about where you were last night, was you? He was like, nah. I was like, well, because some girl said that she having a baby by you, y'all having a son or something, and all this and that. And he was like, what you talking about? I was like, some girl called your phone. He was like, why you answering my phone? Going off, getting crazy and stuff like that, mad at me because I'm asking why you doing this stuff out here in these streets, being reckless and whatnot. And he's like, man, I don't know what they're talking about. You know, I'm like, so why would she be calling your phone late at night? Why did she just say that you just came from her house? How come your cousin called earlier when you was already supposed to be at your grandma's with them looking for you? And he's like, man, get the out of my face, you know, cussing at me, going off, mainly mad at the fact that I went through his phone. He's like, you snooping for my phone? I'm like, first of all, your dumb butt didn't turn the ringer down, so that's how I know that where your phone was at. You hid it under the bed, the phone was ringing, and I heard it and I answered it. And mind y'all, this was around income tax season. So he had said something to me. He was like, your fat ass always going through something, looking for something. He's like, I can't stand you, man, get away from me, you know, saying little stuff. But I was like, dude, forget you. I was like, you ain't got nothing, no way. You live with me in my house. My daddy's the one to take care of these bills. You up here talking all this stuff, talking about I'm fat and this and that. I said, but you keep knocking me up. I was like, you keep knocking me up. I said, you ain't got nothing going for yourself. I said, you only get money from whatever you do on the streets. And I said, that's barely anything. You always in and out of jail. You ain't got no license. You can't drive. You can't do this. You barely spend time with your kids like you need to because you leave me in the house and you always leaving to go go do whatever or do whoever. He was like, yeah, you sure right. He was like, I got my taxes back. You think I was gonna give you some? He was like, I went and got my other chick's, what'd he say? I went and got my other chick's brakes fixed on her car. I went and did this, this, and this. I helped, all this crazy stuff. And the whole time I'm sitting there looking like, what about your kids? You didn't give me a single dime for them. You out here doing all this stuff with these chicks, buying stuff for other chicks and their kids. But what about your kids? And the whole time I'm just like, really? Wow. And he was like, man, fuck you, fuck you. He was like, I don't know what I'm with you anyway for. And I was like, well then you can leave. You can leave. And he was just still talking stuff. He grabs the keys and he leaves. So one of my cousins, my good cousin, she comes over or whatever. She used to be at my house all the time. Hey, Shy. And she saw me cry over this dude too many times. It didn't make no sense. Like, I just had really low self-esteem or something. It was just really bad. Like, because I'm listening to myself tell this story, and it's like, really? My statement? What? And I don't know what it was. I was crazy. So, like, once he left and my cousin came over or whatever, I was crying to her. Just like, you know, why he do me like this all the time? I don't do nothing to nobody. I don't do nothing. I stay in the house. I do da-da-da-da-da. You know, crying to her. And she's like, it's okay, cousin. Da-da. And, you know, it starts getting late. It's been, what, probably some hours since he's been gone, and I'm calling his phone. He ain't answering. He's sending me the voicemail, and I'm like, would you please come back home? Your kids want to see you. Mind you, they little. They ain't worried about him. Well, maybe my oldest was, but the other one wasn't worried about him. And I'm like, you need to come home. I didn't want you to leave. I didn't want you to leave, but you just need to quit doing that stuff to me. He doesn't answer at all, whatever. So my cousin, she stayed the night. I know she probably thought I was stupid as crap. Oh my God, like, he didn't even have it going on like that when I look back at it. But at that point in time, I was just delusional. She helped me with the kids. I remember I cried myself to sleep to her. When I woke up, I remember my eyes was all puffy because I was crying so hard because I was just like so upset. And when I woke up, he still wasn't home. So all it did was make me start crying over and over again. And finally, when he came back home, which was later in the afternoon, once he got back, my cousin, she left. But yeah, you know, he came home, was trying to apologize to me, saying he ain't gonna do this and that again. We did whatever, you know. I guess he thought that was gonna make me forget, but it didn't. It just kept me quiet for that moment because I was just happy that he was back. And but you know, that didn't last because again, his phone, like, he kept like checking his phone. After that time, he never put the phone back under the bed. He would keep it under his pillow. So the next day, I don't know if it was a game on, but some of his homeboys came over to the house or whatever. And normally when his friends came over, I stayed in the room, but I was cooking something and I kept going back and forth from the kitchen to my bedroom. And you know, it was like maybe 3 or 4 of them there. One of his friends, I noticed, and like none of his friends were cute, but one of his friends I noticed like kept looking at me. And this particular friend looked at me a lot. Even to this day, the last time I seen him, not to this day, but last time I seen him a couple years ago, he was, what's up, Basima, all friendly and fresh in my face. Brother, move. I ain't with Bob, but I don't want your ass either. So one of his friends would always give me these looks and everything like that. And I just be kind of like, what the heck is this dude looking at? And so I guess Bob picked up on it this particular day, because I wasn't dressed crazy. Like I said, I stayed in the house. I had on some shorts that weren't booty shorts, because I didn't wear booty shorts, because I was still a thickums. And I had on like a white t-shirt, like a t-shirt. And that's it. And back then I used to wear my hair in micro braids. If y'all don't know what they are little itty bitty braids braided into your head with extensions. I used to wear micro braids all the time. And anyway, I guess Bob picked up on dude looking at me, and I guess he felt a certain kind of way because he never does this. He would never do it. And I'm like, okay, because he did something that he never ever does. So I'm about to go back into the room, and he gonna grab me by my waist, talking about give me a kiss. I'm like looking at him. First of all, it threw me off. Yes, okay, brother, I know we together, but you don't show affection like that to me. You barely like to kiss me. You only want to get your rocks off. What? And he, like I said, he grabbed me by my waist and was like, give me a kiss. And I'm like, and gave him a peck. I gave him a peck. And he just was like holding me for a second. I'm like, okay. And I kind of like pushed him off of me so I could go back in the room, because yeah, he was my boyfriend, but it felt weird because I'm like, why did you do that? You have never done that, even when they've been over there before. I don't know if he ain't caught old boy looking at me before like that, but I guess it did something to his ego, because I'm like, what? Okay, whatever. First of all, I'm thinking, I don't want your ugly ass friends. So the remaining time they was there, every time I came at the room, you know, he was like saying little stupid stuff, or, you know, just trying to get a reaction out of me, or saying little stuff like nasty stuff that he don't never say. And it kind of was making me feel weird, because I'm like, you doing this because your boys is here, or this dude is here, or whatever. Like, really? Come on, man. I didn't say that, but I'm just thinking the whole time, like, it felt fake. You know what I mean? And so finally, when they left, all that stuff he was doing stopped. So I finally put it in my head that, okay, this dude can go out here, have sex with all these girls, do all this stuff, lie to me, mistreat me because he feel like, oh, I'm fat, I got his kids, ain't nobody gonna want me because I'm fat. Let me tell you something. I was a fat, cute girl, and I still am a fat, cute woman, okay? So don't get it twisted. And I guess he figured that wasn't nobody gonna want me, and I don't know if that made him feel a certain kind of way, because he noticed his homeboy was checking me out quite a bit. I had been noticed it, but I guess he just got the memo. And then after they left, he's like, you know, back to not hardly wanting to talk to me, only when he wanted to, you know, get his stuff going. But yeah, y'all, it went back to how it always is after that. So that's just one Bob story. I just wanted to tell y'all how he supposedly had another. And oh, let me get back to that baby thing. That was a lie. The girl wasn't pregnant. She was just saying that stuff. The reason I found that out, trust me, I didn't take his word for that, because I got a hold of his phone again, and I saw the text messages that he tried to put under another name, because I will check under all kind of names. I don't care if it's under your sister's name. I'm going to check. And I checked, and I saw that the girl basically was saying, because he basically asked why she said what she said to me, and she was like, because I shouldn't have been answering his phone, and they supposed to be together, they supposed to have a happily ever after, all this stupid stuff, and she just wanted to get me upset or whatever. And that was that. So yeah, y'all, that was another Bob story time. Again, all of the stories mainly consist of cheating with another chick, same type of situations, but hey, that's it. So yeah, that's the time that I found out he was cheating on me, when he was supposed to be at his grandma's house, and when one of his friends was looking at me, and I guess he felt a certain kind of way about his friend looking at me, because I guess he didn't think that nobody would want me, because he done knocked me up so many times, and I'm heavier than the other girls he's used to. So I guess he figured that wasn't gonna happen. But honey. So yeah, that was the story, you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. And sorry if I sound a little funny. I am trying to get over a little cold. My nose is still kind of stopped up. So still, I hope y'all enjoyed the story time. And I will see y'all in my next one. Bye, loves.